I've been putting off doing this for weeks at this point, but it's a Friday. Got my cat hoodie on, which means we mean business. And today we're going to tackle what I can only describe as the pure chaos in this room, which is my makeup collection. I have a feeling this is actually going to take quite a while, so fingers crossed I get all of this done before I need to start getting ready. We're going to tackle my makeup collection, my skincare, my hair care, basically everything that is in my drawers. Obviously I recently did my wardrobe, so that is all pretty much done. So grab yourself a drink, get yourself a snack, and let's begin. Okay, so give you guys a bit of an overview of kind of like what we're working with. I have makeup, skincare, hair care, and then hair tools second to bottom and makeup bags right at the bottom. So it's pretty much just going to be these three that we're going to declutter, and then I'm also going to go through all of these bits because, oh my goodness, there's just so much stuff in here. A lot of which is probably expired, dried up, just probably needs to go. This is my desk area, so I tend to keep my kind of essential go-to products in these drawers just because they're obviously easier access. So I've got lip products on the one side and then base products on the other side. I feel like the best way to do this is to just get everything out of the drawers. We're gonna have a pile of things to keep, which is obviously gonna go back in. Pile of things to get rid of, which is just going to be like expired products, things that I'm not using, and then anything that is suitable for donation or to go to family and friends, that's going to be a pile as well. What is that? What is that? This was so organized at one point. I feel like I picked a bad day to do this, but let's go. Starting with my lip products. As I said, I wanted to just get everything out and onto the desk and basically just decide what was to keep, what was to donate, and what was to get rid of. There was quite a few products that I'd had for honestly years at this point that definitely were expired and needed to go. And then anything that was in a good usable condition, I put into a pile either to donate or to keep. So I did a lot of swatching for my lipsticks, because there were quite a few lipsticks in here that I just wasn't reaching for. I feel like I have my go-to nudes, so I wanted to see what out of everything I was actually likely to wear, and then anything that I wasn't likely to wear I'm gonna give to family and friends. This section especially was pure chaos. This was probably one of my favorite drawers to give a bit of a makeover because there's so many random things in here, and I didn't really have a section for eye products, so things like my brow pencil, mascara, any sort of black or brown eyeliners that I tend to use on a day-to-day basis. They were all just mixed in with my lip pencils, so I wanted to kind of give everything its own little section. Even this part is just like a mix of different skincare bits. There was tested samples for perfumes and things. It was just very messy, so I got everything out, and then I did the same for all of my base products on the other side, which most of these are being kept because they're things that I use fairly often, and I feel like powders you can kind of get away with having them for a little bit longer, and then anything that's sort of like a primer or a foundation, I go through those a lot quicker, so it's not very often that these expire, especially if they're in this drawer and I use them a lot. Probably would have made more sense to do just my desk drawers first, but for some reason, once I start getting everything out, I have to get literally everything out. So I then did my deeper drawers. There was a lot of random products in here, things that I got in PR that I did want to try, but I just didn't want to add to like my makeup collection to begin with because I wasn't sure if I liked them. So again, it was just a case of organizing all of these before putting them back in. I then gave all of my organisers a good thorough clean, which I haven't actually done since I first put all of my makeup in my drawers, so they definitely needed a little bit of TLC. So I gave them all a rinse out with hot soapy water, and then I also cleaned all of the drawers with some Flash and a wipe. It was then time to start putting everything back in, which is of course my favourite part because this is just where everything comes together, and I have to say I have far much fun doing this part than the initial getting everything out part, because I love to organise things. Like, I love to give everything its own little home. I love knowing where things are, what order they're in. I decided with my lipsticks to kind of put them in categories of like most used, and then go into undertones, shades, that kind of thing as well, so I know exactly what is what. I did also change the layouts a little bit for these as well, and I also added some organisers from Amazon that you'll see in a little bit, just to make everything a bit neater, because the bigger organisers that I have for both drawers, I can't fit 2 of them in just because of the size of them, so I got some smaller ones to add too, and it made so much difference. I made sure to give everything a good clean as I put it back in its new little home as well. I ended up having to carry this on yesterday because doing just the makeup alone took me so long. So on Saturday I did my skincare, which was one of my favourite drawers to organise, to be honest, because there's something about skincare products that I just find really aesthetically pleasing. I don't know, I just really like organising my skincare, and I wanted to give everything a little bit more of a logical order as well, because everything had its own sort of like compartment, but I wanted it to kind of go in order of what my skincare routine is. So again, I got everything out, decided what I wanted to keep, what I wanted to get rid of, and then popped everything back in its new little home. Okay, so it's now Sunday. It's taken me a couple of days to finish everything. I also ended up ordering a few extra containers for my desk drawers, just because there was a lot of extra space in there and I didn't have any makeup organizer trays that fit in the empty space. So I got some on Amazon. They arrived today, so I've just finished tidying everything up, and oh my god, it feels like a new room in here and it just looks so much better. So I thought I'd quickly show you the finished makeup collection. The desk is looking so much clearer. First of all, I brought in one of my candles candles. This one is one of my favourite scents from Scandinavis. And I've also brought up this little container. I've been meaning to put this in here for ages because I just feel like it's such a cute little trinket to have. This was actually from Mad's Boohoo dinner. I don't know where they found these, but it is just the most gorgeous little trinket ever. And I've actually put in a bunch of crystals that I found in my drawers. So they have a nice new home now. I still need to wash my brushes, but I'm probably going to do that in a little bit. And then this is how the drawers are looking now, which is such a transformation from how they looked at the start of this video. So these are the initial containers that I had, and then I've added in these sort of smaller ones that I got on Amazon. I really like these as well because they have little like sticky bottoms, so they don't slide around at all, which is really handy. And then again, I've got the lipstick organizer that I had at the start, but then I've also added in a few more just for certain products. So I've actually switched the kind of layout of my lip products around. So I've still got a lot of my lipsticks here. I've organized these into categories as well, because obviously looking at the containers, you can't really tell what's what. So I decided to do all of my sort of like pale go-to nude lipsticks here, just because they're the ones that I reach for the most. So anything that is a nude lipstick that I use regularly, that is what is in like the first column. We then go into slightly deeper pinky nudes, which is all of these ones here. As you can see, there is a lot of pinky nudes, and then these three are the only more brown tone nudes that I kept, just because I don't tend to wear brown nudes as much. So I have 3 brown nudes, and then I've got 3 red lipsticks here, and then these are all glosses that were short enough to not have to go in the longer sections, because these drawers are quite shallow. I kind of organized a lot of these into brands. So the first little section here is lip treatments. So I have like an exfoliating lip treatment from Ciate. I've got my Charlotte Tilbury lip oil and another lip oil underneath that. And then also my Fenty lip oil, which is one of my favorites at the minute. I've then got 2 little rows of Fenty glosses, which are some of my favorites. I think the clear one is probably my favorite one. It's really, really basic, but it's just perfect for no makeup days as well. I've then got Charlotte Tilbury glosses behind that, and then it goes into Kylie. This was a new one that I got recently that I'm really excited to wear. It's in the shade Lost Angel. It just looks stunning. Like, I cannot wait to try that. And then there's a few more underneath as well. I do really like Kylie glosses. Got some lip balms from Glowish by Huda, and then all of my new Kiko lip glosses as well. If anyone saw my TikTok recently of my Sephora haul, then you will have seen these in that. And there's a couple of spare ones back here that didn't fit in. So we've got another Kylie, a NYX butter gloss, and another Kiko. At the back is anything red, so I've kept all of my red lip products together, which isn't a lot. I tend to use liquid lipsticks for red, so I've got some Fenty ones, a Rare Beauty, and a Huda. This section was then kind of like a mix of lip liners and brow products, eyeliners that I use regularly, because obviously everything in these drawers is what I reach for on a daily basis. So this section in particular was just very chaotic. Now that I've added in the extra compartments, I can have just my lip liners in here. And again, I've kept just like my favorite go-to ones, which is mostly Charlotte Tilbury. I have to say, I am just a Charlotte Tilbury lip product girl through and through. Favorites are Hot Gossip and Love Trap, which is a newer shade from them. And we've also got some from Mario, Milani, Huda lip pencils as well, I really like. And then we've got a little kind of eye section and tools section over here. So any sort of like mascaras, lash glue are in there. The Rimmel one is my favorite mascara ever. It's so good. I've not actually tried this Fenty one yet, so I'm excited to give that one a go. And then I popped eyeliners and brow pencils in here. So I've got my Refi brow pencil, which is my favorite brow pencil ever. And then mostly blacks and browns for eyeliners. That's what I tend to use the most. Then got my NYX Glow Shots. This one in the middle is my go-to. That is Golden Goji. Then we also have High Key Lychee, and I'm not actually sure which one this is. Hair Prize, which is a newer shade to try. And then we've got some Charlotte Tilbury eye pots, a little With Love Cosmetics pigment, which is one of my favorite eye products ever. It's so gorgeous. This is Hazelnut. And then I have any sort of other brow products there, so my brow freeze and my brow powder, and then all of my sort of tweezers, tools, scissors, lash curlers, things like that in there. So again, they have their own little home now. This section really was just a mess to begin with. So that is the first drawer all done. And then I've got pretty much mostly base products over here. I did initially have all of my creams and moisturizers in this drawer where there was like an empty section. Now that I have more room in this one, I've put all of my base products in here. So we have my Inky List Moisturizer, my Ultraviolet SPF drop, eye cream, a little gloss balm from Glow Recipe. This one was a bit empty, so I've just put spare lashes in there for now. And then we've got my e.l.f. Halo Liquid Glows, my Iconic Radiance Boosters, which are my favourite base products ever. New powder, because I've had to get rid of Laura Mercier. Anything that was new from Laura Mercier I am donating, but they're not cruelty free, unfortunately, so I've brought this one out instead from Hourglass. I think I tried this once, but I don't really remember, so I'm hoping I'm gonna love this one because I really did love the Laura Mercier one. Spare concealers are at the back, and then we've got a little pot for my beauty blender and my beauty puffs, which I love that they just have their own little home. I need to give those a clean, so don't mind how filthy they are. That is on the list of things to do today. And then we have foundations, SPF, just like extra base products here. So my Fenty stick, which is one of my favorites. Very excited to try the Hourglass Skin Tint. And then we have 2 more SPFs, a primer and a mist from Glow Recipe, and then also 2 palettes, one from Makeup by Mario and one from Kylie, which are like my go-to everyday palettes. This section really makes my heart happy. Just seeing everything laid out here, I just think it looks so pretty. So we have blush, bronzer, highlighters and powders. So my Fenty cream blush, which is in Raisin Standards, it is my favorite blush, or my favorite cream blush at the minute. It is stunning on the cheeks. A little blush from Ciate, my blush from Fenty, and then the Mario kind of like glowy blush, which I'm very quickly running out of because I use it a lot. Highlighters from Anastasia. This one is really cute. It's like very, very heavy and luxurious in terms of the packaging as well. This is in the shade Sun Idol. It's really, really nice packaging. And then I've got a Charlotte Tilbury, a Rimmel, and some Charlotte Tilbury powders back there. And then I've also got 2 little Milani blushes here, which had a little extra section. Eye pops from Charlotte Tilbury, my go-to concealers, of course my Charlotte Tilbury cream blushes and highlighters, my favourite of all time. I will never not love those. Also added in these little milk blushes because they fit perfectly and I actually really want to try those. And then I just have some random little like skincare bits here as well, and just like liquid highlighters, just little minis for that section. So that drawer is all done as well. It looks so much better. And then I have actually rearranged these drawers. So initially I had accessories and nail bits in this first drawer. It was so messy, so I've actually decided to put my hair products in here instead, which were initially in this one. This is now an empty drawer, so I'm sure I'll find something to fill it at some point, but that is, yeah, all of my hair products have been moved up just because there's more space with this one. So previously I had all of my hair products laid down and it just looked really messy, and I just think for like seeing what everything is, I like having products stood up if I can, just because I feel like I like to see what's what. Okay, I switched the light in because I feel like it was getting a little bit dark outside. I've still got nail products at the back just for when I do my nails at home. So I have all of my sort of gel polishes, my little lamp, all of that back there. It actually fit in perfectly as well, which was really nice. And then I've got 2 separate organizers here. So this is kind of just like a mix of rollers, scrunchies, hair accessories, spare brushes, bobbles, clips, just like all of the sort of essentials are in this first section here. And then I've got all of my products over this side. So I've tried to somewhat organize them. We have things like dry shampoo and texture sprays in this corner. Anything that's sort of like a spraying treatment is in here. Heat protectants are over here. So there's a lot of like GHD. This is a new one from Hot Toddy. And then I have any sort of like oils down here. I really like this one at the minute from Hair Syrup. And then I've also got my gel down here, which is an essential, and a little scrub here as well. And then any sort of hairsprays, finishing products are in this one. So it's fairly organized. I feel like I know where everything is, which is really nice as well. And then moving on to this drawer, this has had a drastic makeover because there is like half the amount of stuff in here now. I mean, we've got so much space for spare products, which I'm not really in a rush to fill because I feel like there's a lot of makeup that I have that I want to try at the minute. But this is somewhat organized. I have powders here, so like spare base powders. We've got a loose one and some press. Spare bronzers, so my Charlotte Tilbury, my Vive cream bronzer, Mario powder bronzer and Kylie powder bronzer, and then kind of just like mini palettes over here. I've tried to somewhat organize my palettes in terms of brands as well. So I've got like my Natasha Denona palette. Anything at the back is just things that I keep for the memories. So things like my Jaclyn Hill Becca palette. I mean, this is such a throwback. I never use it anymore, but there's certain things that I just like to keep for memory. And then I do also have like a colourful palette back there that I don't really reach for. Things like the Cinderella from MAC. Oh my gosh, if anyone remembers this, then I will be so impressed, because this is a very old collection. And then this little section is looking a lot neater as well. So I've put all of my lashes in this first compartment. As you can see, I am a Kiss lashes girl through and through. I just love Kiss. They do the best lashes. Any spare primers, foundations, that kind of thing is in here. And then any spare eye products, so mascaras, pigments, brow pencils, whatever it is in here. And then we also have spare cream and liquid blush, highlighter and bronzers. So a lot of Charlotte Tilbury. There's some from NYX. This one from Rare Beauty, I actually really like at the minute. It's in the shade Joy. I actually want to get a few more from Rare Beauty because this formula was really, really nice. But yeah, of course, a lot of Charlotte Tilbury, because you guys know I am a Charlotte Tilbury girly. And then last but not least, we have skincare. I think this could be one of my favorite drawers, to be honest, because it just looks so, I don't know, just so cute. I feel like everything just has its own little home. So I've tried to kind of organize my skincare products in like a logical order. So we basically have anything that is a cleanser or a scrub, kind of like the step 1 in here. We then go on to step 2, which is like toner, step 3, which is serum, and then any sort of finishing products are the ones on this side. So it has kind of like a logical flow to it. So there's a few in here that I've not tried yet, like the Fenty scrub. This one from the Inky list I really want to try. That's a cleanser. Toners at the minute, I only really have the Paula's Choice, which is one of my favorites, and also the Ren Beauty, and then also this vitamin C from Nip and Fab, which I really like. Serums, obviously we have my Dalba serum. I love this stuff. I mean, I go through these so fast. I only got this one a couple of weeks ago and I'm already halfway through it because it is unreal. This one from Ren I love at the minute as well, the Ever Hydrate. And then I also have my Medik8 products, which I have just started using, but I have to kind of like build them up in terms of like the tolerance. So I'm only using them twice a week at the minute, but so far I really like those. And then yeah, we've got like castor oil back here, the Ren Ever Hydrate Moisturizer, which I really like, a balm from Ren, the snail cream, a little face oil from Drunk Elephant, which I really, really like so far. And then also my Medik8 eye cream, which again, so far, so good. We then have all of my spare SPFs because I am an SPF girly. This one from Medik8 I've recently started trying and I love it. I also really like this one down here from Paula's Choice. And I also have my little Fenty spot treatment. And then any sort of tools are in this section. So my New Face, my Foreo, Gua Sha, rollers, that kind of thing all live in there. And then this kind of like middle section is tan. So we have my little brushes for instant tan and body glow, and then all of my tanning products here. In terms of tan, I am either Garnier face tan. I mean, I've got 4 of these. It's my favorite face tan of all time. I also really love the I Love Paradise drops, so I kind of use them together. Sally Hansen airbrush legs, always a go-to. I love my I Love Paradise tanning water for kind of like top-ups at the minute, so I tend to go in with like a mousse as my base tan, and then a couple of days after I've washed that off, I'll start going in with the tanning water just to keep it topped up. This Kylie Body Glow I really like as well at the minute. It's really pretty. And then I also have my Sol de Janeiro, which is one of my favorite. And then we just have spare like earbuds, razor heads, toiletries, that kind of vibe. And then we have other tanning products and other body products down here. So moisturizers, body oils, Fenty Instant Tan, and then my Bali Body, which is one of my favorites for like proper tanning. Spare mitts. I've got like my pads at the back, cotton pads, just, you know, anything that I could ever possibly need. And I just feel like everything looks so much better now. So yeah, that is another job ticked off the list. I feel so much better now that pretty much everything in this room is done. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I always find things like this really satisfying to watch, so hopefully it's been satisfying for you to watch. If there's anything else that you want to see in terms of like cleaning, decluttering, whatever it is, then definitely let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna get going and edit this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a lovely weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.